So here's an interesting story. So there's a former neo-Nazi who has revealed that he's both Jewish and gay, and he has abandoned, the neo-Nazis that he was a part of. He was part of a group. He's part of the National Front. I believe the National Front in the UK, but there are National Front parties, I think, in a lot of European countries, like France. I know there is for sure. But Ross Story says, a former neo-Nazi this week announced he was renouncing his ties to hate groups while also opening up about his sexuality and his Jewish heritage. It says, in an interview, longtime National Front organizer Kevin Wilshaw disavowed his past racist views while also admitting for the first time that his own mother was partially Jewish. Quote, she was part Jewish, maiden name was Benjamin. We have Jewish blood on that side. Okay, so here's what it seems to be like was the change for him, is what he says for sure, is what he says it is. And this kind of goes to the whole point of, you don't understand something until it affects you, and that applies a lot to the Republican Party, where you'll have a lot of people. So, like, for example, on torture, you could say, John McCain is kind of one of the only ones, and, the reason why is because he was tortured himself. And, some people who are in the Republican Party will have gay kids. Like, I want to say Dick Cheney did, and now he's cool with people being gay and things like that. So, it says, Wilshaw also said that he started to realize that being a Nazi was wrong when he was harassed on suspicion of being gay. Quote, on one or two occasions in the recent past, I've actually been the recipient of the very hatred of the people I want to belong to. If you're gay, it is acceptable in society, but with these group of people, it's not acceptable. And I found on one or two occasions when I was suspected of being gay, I was subjected to abuse. It's a terribly selfish thing to say, but it's true. I saw people being abused, shouted at, spat at in the street. It's not until it's directed at you that you suddenly realize that what you're doing is wrong. So this is something that's really crazy to me, man. Like, I don't know, I'm someone who feels like a lot of empathy for people, even a lot of people who don't deserve it. But, if you could see, like, what he described, he says, I saw people being abused, shouted at, and spat at in the street. And he was all cool with it. He's like, oh, it's whatever. It's all part of the whole thing and all that, whatnot. But once he's subjected to all of those things that he's witnessing happening to other people, that's when he's like, I have to leave this group. Don't get it wrong. This dude's complicit because he was part of the National Front. He was part of this group that was doing all this shitty shit. And it says that he joined up with neo-Nazi groups while in school because he didn't have many friends and he wanted to feel like he belonged to some kind of group. You're a fucking loser, man. If you really are that much of, like, a douche where, like, you have no friends, so you're gonna decide to join fucking neo-Nazis, like, you're a douche and you're a loser. You're a big-time loser. Anybody who has, like, this gaping hole, because they don't have any friends, and they decide to fill it with joining neo-Nazi groups, you're a fucking asshole, man. Support independent progressive media by leaving a subscription down below, leave a like and share the video, help us out on Patreon, or you can donate in other ways. Links are in the description down below. We are fighting Trump tooth and nail, and we will continue to do so with your help.